Juniors of rock and roll. Mad Juniors of rock and roll.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. I'm the amazing Super Chris, your host. Thank you for joining me at this ungodly hour. My co-hosts are with me today, Rion, Cultastic, and DaranteLaMar. They're hiding in the back because that's what they do. And we're getting ready for the show. It's Thursday, the day of Thor. I hope you've had a wonderful week. I hope you've been sinning safely because that's what we recommend here. Put on a wrapper before hitting that crapper, if you know what I mean. But we're going to have a lot of fun today. It's just been a fun week. These guys are fantastic. It's wonderful working with them. Don't tell them I said that. Let's do we're going back to our normal atheism commercial for now. We may switch that up to have like fascism be our commercial that runs the show. But I'm really atheism for the win.
Life is complicated. These are trying times. There are many questions that need answering. Want to know what's going to help? Atheism. With atheism, you'll get rid of dogma, superstitions, and toxic thought patterns that are holding you back. You can drive while taking atheism, as well as use heavy machinery. In fact, drinking alcohol, fornicating, and Sunday mornings are far more enjoyable with atheism. However, there are side effects. Some evangelicals and fundamentalists will think you are possessed by the devil. But you don't have to worry, because you know the devil isn't real. Just like God. Wake up to your life. Believe in yourself. Believe in science. Atheism.
And there we are. Okay, so here we are. Hello, everyone. I've got my cohorts, DaranteLaMar and Rion Cultastic, here with me today. I got up this morning, and Darante, you probably haven't seen it, I would guess, but I made a little short out of our hair expedition yesterday.
Oh, snap. I have not.
It's good.
Oh, man.
I mean, it starts with Rion playing giraffe on the leaf behind her. Yeah, careful, that'll end up on a short again.
Oh, man.
You know, I was sitting there, me and the wife, we're watching it. I was showing it to her this morning. She's like, being a giraffe. She's being a giraffe. I'm like, giraffe? And she's like, you know, it doesn't always have to be about porn. I don't know what you're talking about. Your words are coming out of your mouth. It's so good morning, guys. Thank you for joining me this morning. Darante, how you doing, Darante?
Doing pretty good, man. It's been a productive week. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. You know, that's good to hear. Me too. I've been stupid busy. I'm trying to get like, me and the wife had sit down and had a prayer session.
Yes.
If that's what you want to call it, you know, it's like this is what I got going in my brain. I need to get this organized and get this organized, and so we wrote out a list. And I've got the whiteboard of power. Oh, didn't scare me at all. We got the whiteboard of power up on the board here, and I've been making notes and making shit better, and it's good. And I've got like some focus and direction. You know,
I love it.
When I grow up, I want to be like Darante.
You.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Rion, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. My father-in-law left yesterday, so hopefully I'll be able to get back to doing some normal content creation, etc. But otherwise,
wonderful.
Doing okay. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear. It's being done, and that's why.
Oh, it's still being done. Okay, so there's still up there. Yes. Oh boy.
You know, I want to share with my friends here. First of all, I want to mention that I'm starting to work on a mailing list. So there's a link at the top of the chat. If you don't mind going over and clicking and subscribing to my mailing list, I'll be bashing on that. And I'm not going to hit you too much with emails, but there's 2 of them you can sign up for. One of them is going to be for the Daily Atheist Morning Show, and that's just going to be, you know, the shows that are coming up the following week, and whatever guests I'm going to have on the show, that sort of thing, or any special events. The other one will be Theocracy Watch. I'm going to try to put that out weekly. It's just kind of, you know, it's going to be associated to the channel and things like that. And I don't know how much, I'm not going to try to overload myself. I just know I want 2 different split audiences, those who want fun daily Atheist Morning Show content and those who want theocracy content. So I'm creating room for two. I'm creating the infrastructure for two, even though I may not send out the theocracy watch. So
I love it.
If you don't, yes. So if you don't mind, go ahead and click that thing up there at the place and subscribe if you're into that sort of thing, and I'll send you out those mailing lists. Thanks, you guys, for bearing with me while I do that. Yes. Rational Poet, good morning. What a cool name.
Good morning,
John
Vietnam.
Fapiano. I know. If I yell like that, Daisy guitar. Now I've already got Ollie's in my lap. I don't think that sound bothers Ollie that morning. However, Jack is already kind of getting a little nervous, buddy. They're out there. I know. We all, again, for those of you who don't know, I'm getting my roof replaced. I got 5 dogs, not 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, but 5 dogs. And yesterday was stressful. I wasn't thinking. And I kept them all in this room with me all day long, pretty much. We'd go out and we'd go pee-pee, and then we'd come back in, But I didn't realize we have a slide for the dog door. I could have let them roam the whole house.
Man.
I don't know what the hell I was thinking. The wife's like, did you use the dog door? I'm like, what dog? Oh, shit, dog door. No.
That's right.
So it'll be easier on me today. Good morning, everyone. Let me do our shout out. Costco is here. Cusco. Good morning. The Atheist, of course, is here. John Fapiano. Trina, good morning, Trina. The party can commence. Trina has arrived.
Yay.
Trina is in the house. Scott Duke is here. Let's see. Good morning, Scott Duke, by the way. Scott says, have you ever had anyone in church situations tell you something like, God told me he wants you to help set up chairs for worship services? Any of that business?
I wish somebody would have told my members that, because I used to have to get up as a church planner. I'd have to be up at the church at 5 o'clock in the morning to set up the chairs when we were having church in the school. So I have to get up there to set up the chairs, to set up the sound system, and much of that I was doing by myself. So I wish a prophet would have came to my church and told somebody, the Lord told me to tell you to help your fucking pastor, please. Please help him. God is not real and is not helping him, so please help him.
I'm surprised that it would even, you'd have to have that to get people to want to assist you.
You'd be surprised. Most people. Well, I'd say most people in urban settings treat anything that's not even in urban settings. The secular community is the same way. People treat everything like they need a burning bush experience to do something. So it's like, I don't know if I'm called to help do the chairs. I don't know if I'm called to usher. Like, can't you just see that there's an empty spot, that there's a need to be filled, and just say, hey, that's a need I can fill. Why not fill it? But that's typically not the way people approach it in church. If it's not glamorous, if it's not glorious, people don't want anything to do with it.
There used to be this one example. I don't know why, but I swear to goodness, I heard this example my entire life. But they talk about a person who was cleaning the outside of the Kingdom Hall, like raking leaves and stuff after the meeting. And everybody filed out of the Kingdom Hall and was just like, do you need any help? And he would say, no, I'm fine. And people would just continue to say, do you need any help? And he would say no. And they'd say, okay, and just keep moving. And then finally somebody just didn't ask, just walked up, picked up a rake and started to help. And they were like, that's how you should be. Stop asking, just do.
Just do. Yep.
Infidel has got it too here in the chat. Infidel says, why can't God just possess them to set up the chairs like he does speaking in tongues? Just take them and use them.
That's right. God, do something.
Yeah, like from the Matrix, like an agent from the Matrix.
Man.
I mean, can't you just create the chairs out of nothing?
Right?
Or just, damn. I got here this morning and God had set up the chairs and stuff. The webcam, the security cam actually caught this old man with a beard come in, move everything around, turn on the sound system. It's fantastic. John the Heretic. We got a lot of Johns in the chat. John the Heretic, John Fapiano, John Hudson. Good morning, John Fapiano. Left-handed Jedi donated $2 to the Super Sat. DoorDash Ministries.
Oh my God!
When your sins.
I love it. I love it.
Imagine the things you could get delivered to your door.
Yes.
Imagine anything except shellfish.
Oh, yeah, or maybe even bacon. That might be bad too.
Yeah, that depends.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What
Pork.
if you
To
had a
some people.
DoorDasher who said, "I can't deliver this because it has bacon, so I can't touch it"?
That's what I was. That's right. That's the same thing with the shellfish.
Yep.
Bacon, bacon. Mm-hmm. And to them, I say, I'll take that bacon.
I'll take the bacon and the shellfish. You can go and send it in my direction, please.
There you go.
I like
More
bacon
for
and
me.
crab legs.
Pour moi. You like bacon and crab legs. What a combination. Oh man, goodness gracious. Why? Because weed, bro. Good morning. Look at the trees. Philip Lister, good morning. Thank you for joining us from the other side of the world. I know my puppies are all stressed out. What they're doing now, we're getting a metal roof put on, not a shingle roof.
Okay.
So there's a lot of now. Yesterday it was ripping off the old roof, and then banging the nails that were sticking up, banging it back into the sheetrock. You know,
Yeah.
or sheetrock. I mean the plywood. Today they're laying the metal and then with their little metal cutters. It's just driving the dogs crazy.
Like that corrugated metal roof, like this, or whatever you call it.
Yeah. Well, sort of like that. It's not like that. It's not cheap redneck corrugated.
No, I didn't mean. I didn't mean it like that. like the stuff you go get it.
I
didn't know.
It's a big piece of sheet metal.
Darante, I didn't know. You didn't know there's more than one
corrugated.
It's the corrugated that just does this, you know. It's all just like you would think corrugated tin that you'd be driving by out in the middle of nowhere in the hillbilly land, and there'll be a trailer house, and at the bottom of the trailer house there'll be that corrugated tin running. It's not that kind of tin.
Oh man.
A little more fancy than that.
That's right. And I could see why you would think that by looking at me, my accent, by the way I think, the way I talk.
Look, I used to work as for contractors in Home Depot, so I've seen like the special order books of all the different. So it's not. I know it's not just that guy.
Oh man!
But I do know the kind you mean.
I had to do it.
Oh man, yes. The Shaking Fist. Good morning. I just got up. I think this is the first time this is a morning show. I think this is the first time this is a morning show for me. That's cool. That's awesome. Good morning. Thank the Shaking Fist. That's awesome. Shakes fist at sky. My brain is slow. Okay, before we do stuff, I do want to talk about the topic of the day. Of course. But I want to share a video with everybody. I don't really want to go over it too much. It's one of those things. You know how those things are. I'm going to play it, and then we'll go back to our normal show. I just want to play it so folks can see thus what's going on. It's on my brain, and you'll understand. You'll be like, je comprends.
Je comprends.
So I'm going to go here. Okay, little buddy, you okay? Okay, there's Ollie. He's got to get down. He's got some yawning to do.
Squish, squish, squish,
Okay.
squish, 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 squish.
All right, so let me go here. Under leave of
I
Brutus. All
love that.
right, so I'm going to play this thing. I got to get the extra dramatic part here where I take my glasses off because it's all sexy. Okay. Share. Boop. Okay, share this one. Boop. Now I'm going to go here and here. Tell me if you're ready.
Well.
Okay. I am, I've heard some things, grapevine, that there may be some people out there doing some pearl clutching concerning my opinions on Trump, treason, and execution. And, I'm pretty passionate about Donald Trump and about the things that he's done, not just this time, but the last time he was president. And I've said a great many things. So if there's someone out there who has an issue with me, you need to kind of be direct.
Hello?
I'll just talk about me, friend. Talk to me. Put a link. Let me defend myself. But to that end, let's clarify though, because sometimes maybe I did say something wrong in the past. I don't think I'd ever said that specifically, just that. I mean, there's always a step in between that especially Trumpers, they usually don't seem to understand. in there is he needs to be arrested, prosecuted, tried, and convicted of treason. And then at that point, really, he should face whatever circumstances or whatever justice is called by the system. If life in prison, I'm actually, to be honest, I am pro-life in prison if Donald Trump were convicted of treason. Yeah, Donald Trump, any of them, they should be life in prison. I'd much rather prefer that than them to be unalived by the state. Oh, sure, that might seem gratifying or some business like that. But, and I think I've said this before on live streams and all this other stuff, especially as an atheist, man, that's the easy way out. They're done. They just blink out and they're done. If they have to spend the rest of their life in prison, then they get to receive the justice for what they have been convicted of and what they've done. That's my opinion on Donald Trump. I don't know that I've ever come out and just said, we do get passionate sometimes. We do say things that, of course, I have a YouTube channel I got to protect. And I try not to say things directly too much. Sometimes my words are in my brain and I'm like, ooh, I wish, or somebody does something and I'm like, I kind of agree with that. But I can't say. I usually don't say things that are that graphic or that out. Right, and besides, just having him, like I said, unalived by the state really doesn't buy me the justice that I want if Donald Trump can be found guilty. Now, of course, we know anytime Donald Trump, he's in power now, right? So he corrupts all the investigations into him and all this business. You can't say he doesn't. Let's look at the Mueller investigation. My claim is that I believe Donald Trump has been in bed with Vladimir Putin for a very long time, since before his first presidency. And that was what the Mueller report was to bear out. But he undermined it, gutted it, did everything he could to make it stop and disappear until he finally could. But you go look at the Mueller report, and I think it'll bear out clearly that Donald Trump is in league with Russia. And he has been. But these are my feelings. Now, what happens at the end of those feelings? Well, we've got to get an investigation. We've tried that several times. All the investigations now are being quashed. The investigation is to the documents, what he had with the documents at his home. What happened to some of the documents that he had at his home? Stuff like that. All gone, because fair, legitimate presidents don't, hide stuff like that. So I really believe there needs to be an investigation. At some point now, if this continues to escalate to where Donald Trump really does bring about a fascist dictatorship in the United States, you're not going to find me being the voice telling the White Rose that they shouldn't be printing their leaflets. That's not going to be me. I'm going to be one of the ones printing the leaflets. If you get the reference, you get the reference. We're, in fact, the ones under attack. And, really one of the things I want to point out before I end this video, I want to mention this is a perfect example of what happens on the left. Yeah. I mean, we monitor ourselves and monitor each other, and we're going to tone police each other, and we're going to limit each other. And, I'm not going to let that guy on my show because he said this one thing, Maybe I did say something. I don't know. You'd have to tell me specifically if I did. But, there's something about me. I will learn and I will change my mind if I'm corrected. If I learn, I will learn and grow. You should find that out about me. But to the point is that we have got more important things than me going around tone policing each other about whether or not I said what I said about Donald Trump. Come and ask me. Show me in a link where I said something, a video where I said something, and I'll either correct myself, defend myself, or I'll grow. It's one of those things. Now, again, the notion, what I've heard is that somebody out there is clutching their pearls because I think Donald Trump should be executed for treason. But I don't hear the caveat that, he should be investigated, tried, and if convicted, yes, then he should be, but I don't really hear that part of it coming from, and we've got so many people out there tone policing and telling us what we can and what we can't say on our show. I don't really see where there's a problem with what I'm saying. I mean, I don't really see why. If the punishment for what he has done involves that's not my call. And again, I actually would want him to to be around and live in shame in prison without his hair medication and his makeup and all that business. I want him to enjoy some of the suffrage that he's brought on other people. I don't normally want that on people. I really don't. There are two different, in my mind, there's two different kinds of people in this world. There's the kind of person that suffered and therefore other people have to suffer. And then there's the person who suffered and feels like, I don't want anybody else to suffer. I'm that latter group in almost all cases, but you can only watch somebody enjoy making other people en masse suffer so much before you go, you know what, that man needs some justice. So take it however you like. I believe Donald Trump needs justice, and I'm not the one that's able to make that happen. I can just tell you what I believe, and I don't know. I don't really see that there's a problem with it. I've just heard these grumbling. So if you got a problem, let me know. Okay.
Excellent.
So, can you hear me?
Yes.
Well done.
Okay.
I think that was a great video, Chris. That to me is probably one of your best videos yet.
Come on now.
Well, I just feel like I could tell it came from your heart.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. Let's see if I can figure out how to get it up.
And everything else doesn't, because everything I say comes from my heart, but I could tell it was just like, this was everything that you were feeling and you put it on the line. I just thought that was very honest.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh
yeah, there we go. All right, I appreciate that. Yeah. So this is now, I don't mean, I try to be really careful, and I try on my show, I'm going to be brief about this because, as I said at the beginning, we're talking about other things, but I try to be careful on my show. There are people out there I do disagree with in how they do things.
Yeah.
I usually don't talk about that though on my show. And usually whenever I do talk about those people on my show where I disagree with how they do or what they do or some business like that, especially if they're on the left, I'm like, we're all in a fight. You've heard me say this how many times? Over and over. And we're all weapons. And if we're all under attack, we're under attack, and each one of us is a weapon. Darante is a weapon. He is a defensive measure. He's an offensive measure in this fight against the theocracy that's being opposed on us. Matt Dillahunty is a weapon. He's a bazooka. Darante's a sniper rifle. I'm a machine gun. Rion is a paratrooper. We all do different things. We do it differently. And I know it doesn't really matter if I disagree with any of those people and how they do it. You're not going to find me bashing them on my show because that's not what we're about. We need to be bashing the Christians that are opposing us. I don't need to be picking. So that's just kind of what I've heard. I've heard there's grumblings out there because somebody thinks, and you noticed twice whenever I did the video, at the beginning of the video, I opened it up, I was like, I've heard there's some grumblings about me, my thinkings, and Trump, long pause. Treason, long pause. And then execution. Because that's me going, do I say it? And then at the end of it, you saw again when I actually did say it, Trump, and then I even paused there because I'm like, do I say, even now, again, I hesitate every time I start to say it. No, I didn't come out on a channel and go, yeah, I need to see, I may have intimated a few things occasionally, but those are always, no matter what I do, it's almost always based within the rule of law.
Yeah.
And now I did have to hedge my own bets because I did say almost always based within, because it's not. It's not based. There comes a time when the rulers break the law so much that in order to do what's right, you have to break the law.
Yes. Yep. I'm tired of people getting the hairs on their back standing up every time we talk about things like settler colonialism and exploitation and just getting, why are you bringing this up? Things are better. Like, no.
Right.
So this stuff never went away. It still exists, and you're not a victim. Because we pointed out, they think they're the victim. No, we're actually dying and being persecuted. Right. They're real victims. Yes.
And whenever I first heard these grumblings, and I don't even know who was grumbling. It was just somebody was grumbling. Worth, I guess, worry, maybe, I don't know. But when I first heard it, I thought maybe it was something, because at one point I may have said something about agreeing with, I don't even think I said that on the channel. I don't know, because I try not to say things like this, but in a fashion, agreeing with Luigi Mangione, either not necessarily agreeing with him or stating, well, who's actually done more killing? The one guy who did it with a gun or the other guy who did it with a pen, who just denied people their medication until they passed, or denied them, who's done more harm. And somehow I'm the bad guy because I think Luigi was actually a better person than, and there's some point, if you look at back at the American Revolution, the American Revolution did not happen without people revolutioning. You don't revolution just by flyers and going, oh, stop. That's literally what the left is doing, going, stop. Oh, stop. Yep. That's all they got. If it weren't for the judges in place.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Passive does not make change. Power is not going to concede power to you. You have to take it.
Yep.
Yes.
Power has to be taken.
So
yes.
So I may have said things at times. I remember even in that video, I said, if Donald Trump takes this to a full fascist dictatorship, then you'll be, now, do you know what the White Rose were? They were college kids back during the World War II who were unalived by the Yahtzees. See, we worry about saying these things for reason.
I know.
Now, so I don't know who disagrees out there on the left with what I said. There are a lot of left-wing people who believe that under no circumstances is execution warranted. None. I get that. I feel you. And as I said in the video, I just assume they sit in prison for the rest of their life. I'm totally, and part of the reason is because there's how many people have been unalived by the state erroneously, because they were innocent. And then we found out later that they were innocent. Enough of that has happened. It's one of those things, if there's one person that is saved, then it's worth 100 who end up spending their life in prison rather than becoming unalived. So there are dynamics to that I'm actually more for letting them, I don't know, whatever. So I don't know what anybody has to say. If they have an issue, though, I'd very welcome they just bring it straight to me. But I made a video just to clarify my thoughts on the thing. So anybody think that was, I've been looking in the chat. I don't see anybody.
I don't think anybody really disagrees with you, quite frankly. Okay. I think we all concur.
I'm curious to who said something.
I still don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know.
They specifically mentioned you?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I am specific. I'm the specific part, and that's all. I don't know anything more. All I know is somebody I was entrusted with information. That's all I know.
Dang.
But then I just want to say is I want to be clear. If somebody doesn't like me, I want them to not like me for something factual, for a real legitimate reason. There are a lot of reasons to not like me.
Yeah.
Me too.
And I'll give you one. Just get in the chat. I don't know why Brent still talks to me.
I know, right? Brent's like a champ.
Brent's awesome. Well, there's the thing, and I've said this, I've tried to, as I've grown on the show, I've gone, partly because of the Brent experience, I've been like, wait. Is this blowing up too fast? Are we getting mad? Somebody says something like, fuck you. What the hell's wrong with you? Oh, don't blow up, dude. Chris. So I'm learning. I grow from these sorts of things. But, so I don't know what. I'll watch the chat back. I'll watch this video back. I want to be in here with the dogs. And I've got work to do as I build my mailing list. Guys, if you want to get on the mailing list for Theocracy Watch and for the Daily Atheist Morning Show, it's up there. Click the link. Do the thing at the place with the stuff for the people. You might want to dig a bunker out in the desert somewhere. I do live in the desert, Scott Duke. So that's partway. We're halfway there.
I'm there.
I don't have to go anywhere.
Just gotta dig.
I just got to start the bunker.
Start digging.
And I got dogs.
Make them dig.
I'll make them dig it. That's right. They're good at digging. So there's my thinking. I don't want to do the whole show. What I really want to talk about, and this is what I want to ask. I want to ask this question of Darante and then maybe Ryan. I always go to Darante on these because of his biblical. So I don't mean no disrespect, Ryan.
Darante.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a lot, just because you're a girl.
Tell me all you know.
So let me ask you, D-Man.
Yes.
Do you know why if somebody was to like kick in your door right now, threaten to pull off your fingernails, matter of fact, they've already pulled off one or two, so you know they're serious, and they're asking you the question, why does God hate shellfish? What do you tell them? What do you tell them?
Yikes.
I just I gave you the setup because I wanted your honest answer.
Yikes.
What's his beef?
I'd be like, bro, I couldn't tell you. He's not real. I don't know. You'd have to ask.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
That could be the reason.
Man, if you'd have waited a second longer, I'd have had that coffee in my mouth. Oh, man. Okay, so, I got some thinking. Here's part of it. I think it's the same reason why I don't like shellfish.
Allergic?
Okay? And here's my thinking. Bear with me. I feel the individual who wrote this came probably from the desert and probably did not indeed experience shellfish terribly often. Right? It wasn't a thing. And when they did, it was, they did obviously because they wrote about it, but it was yucky and disgusting. To me, shellfish are just bugs of the sea. They're just bugs. They're just like roaches. Oh my goodness. You're cracking open a cockroach. You're like, ooh, good. And they're just so yucky. And then whenever you're eating shrimp, and shrimp have got that mud vein, that's just their shit vein that's running through them. Oh my gosh, it's so disgusting. It's just, ugh. And I'm back. My eyes were yawning. Let me see where I was wrong. So I know why I don't like it, but that's my theory. I suspect the author of that particular book was there. And that's kind of...
I have so much to say that I don't even think people would understand if I didn't said it, quite frankly.
Well,
I sometimes feel so lost in my head with my feelings, and I just don't know that people understand why I think the way that I think.
Oh, yeah.
Feelings, nothing more than feelings. Okay, tell us, Ryan. Tell us. You're on Biggie on the screen.
Okay. For backstory, the other day I saw Bible and Archaeology, which is a YouTube channel, say that Israel basically was responsible for Tyrian purple. So anybody who knows Tyrian purple was a very special color that took like thousands of mollusks or something like that. I forget what they're called.
Yeah.
To dye things purple. So it was a royal color. It was very expensive. And the Phoenicians were the ones who were mostly known for this.
Yes.
Well, recently, as we know, Palestine is occupied by Israel. And Israel has laid claim to a new discovery of a site where they think was the industrial complex of Tyrian purple. And now they're claiming that it might have been a Phoenician site, but somewhere around 700 BCE, around the time of Josiah, they must have overtook it. And it was Israel who was responsible for the Tyrian purple.
Wow.
Huh.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So that pisses me off as somebody who's Lebanese. That just pisses me off because that's just cultural erasure. But what also pisses me off is because they're shellfish. Now, I'm not saying they're eating them, but you allegedly have people who can't be around shellfish, touch shellfish, but now all of a sudden they're responsible for Tyrian purple, which are shellfish. Like, I really just...
Wow. I didn't even make that connection. But yeah, that's wow.
So am I crazy, or does that make sense?
Man, both those are not mutually exclusive situations.
Man.
You are indeed crazy, but that does make sense.
Man.
That's how I feel. I feel it's absolutely abhorrent and hypocritical.
It reminds me of Pavel Chekhov off of Star Trek. He was always... Everything was like Russia invented it. It was always Russia did it. The Garden of Eden, it was in Russia. It was Russia. Everything. We did that. We started it in Russia. Everything. They was always taking credit for good things.
Well, that's why they call it Mother Russia,
Mother Russia. I have a shit Russia.
I'm just kidding.
I don't do it enough. Clearly, I don't do it enough. Let's see.
We
Black
might have
and purple
to soon, so be careful. Get ready. We might have to bow.
Let's see. The first warp drive is Russian. Yeah. Don't start. I'm on Milkman videos about Tyrian purple. I want to say about that though that there are things you'll hear. In ancient Greece, they didn't have they didn't see blue, or there wasn't blue. You know, you might see that on the interwebs a lot.
Yeah.
And they didn't know blue existed until the Egyptians came out and they finally found a dye that was blue. And okay, all right. So here's kind of the deal. The difference between red, orange, and pink, right? Well, we have 3 different words for them, but they're all kind of the similar color. And if you were told you could only use one color to describe all of those, you'd just call them red. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's kind of the way it was with green. So they had green, there's like dark green, light green, but it was just green. So if they had to describe the ocean or something that was blue, to them, it was a shade of green. Blue is a shade of green. It wasn't until the ancient Egyptians, like us, you know, we have the more our language and color palettes. Now we've got mauve, we've got,
God,
you
right?
know,
Yeah.
all kinds of colors.
With people about what a color is.
It's
Exactly,
fuchsia.
because the expansion of our language has increased to encompass it. Yes, nipple pink.
Yeah.
So there's those kinds of things. I just wanted to mention, because I'm just like, well, you know, but that's where they actually get some of that too, was color dyes and stuff like that. Interesting though, I did not know about the cherry and purple.
Yeah, it just happened. I just made a video about it, and I didn't really even flesh through it as much as I should have, because I was just really pissed and it kind of flew out my mouth. But so that's how I feel about the whole situation.
Man.
Well, I tell you what, we're gonna take a quick moment, take a break. Everybody, calm down, everyone, calm down. We're going to take a quick break, and whenever we get back, what we're going to do is we're going to do Theocracy Watch. Now, you might notice, those of you who are not subscribers of the channel, I've turned off commercials. Or if you're not YouTube members or whatever, I've turned off commercials, the YouTube ads, so y'all don't have to endure those anymore. The only commercials you have to endure are the ones that I made on the show. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Finnegan!
Yes, sir. Very disturbing, I know.
Fetch me Father Finnegan.
Your Highness.
You are in the presence of His Holiness, the Puppius Maximus, guardian of the sacred fire hydrant, defender of the holy tennis ball, and eater of the golden kibble, Pup Oliver Poopsalot the Fifth.
Your Popedom, I heard you have a bone to pick with me.
Condoms, Father Finnegan?
No, thank you. I've got plenty.
That's what I mean. Why are you selling condoms?
Oh, you mean our Faro Sombrero line of condoms? Understood.
You know how we feel about those around here.
Well, they're not to be used by the Catholics, of course.
Not for Catholics?
No, they're part of our Sinner Gonna Sin lack of faith outreach program.
A sinner gonna what?
It's like getting the tithe, but from the heretics and the heathens and the atheists.
Oh, well, when you put it like that.
But, Your Highness, this will reflect very poorly on the church.
True. You know what this means, Flanagan?
Warning label. A warning label on the box. Not for Catholics in big letters.
Too subtle.
Instant purgatory if used by Catholics.
I like it. Divine branding.
Excellent, Your Popedom. Would there be anything else?
That will be all. You may leave.
Here we are, and we are back. Good morning, OB Atheist. Pragmatic Crystal is here. Good morning. Always good to see you, Praggy. Chick Magne is here. Adrian Belgrave, good morning. John Hudson. John Hudson was talking about, like giving script advice in the chat. I will make notes and give the script advice to Bailey. She's the one who works on the script. She's our script writer. Jack is really having some nervous time today because of the roofing that's going on. So he's joining me. Yes. His excuse is he wants to make sure the lighting is correct because he's the lighting operator on the show. Are you okay, buddy? I know. It's very scary. I'm very scared too. I know.
Oh, baby.
We'll go pee in the corner together in a minute. Okay. All right, buddy. Help you down. Good boy. Yeah, so he's a little nervous this morning, aren't we all? Thank you guys for your patience with me and my puppies as we do the thing. The Shaken Fist says, don't you love how God tells them the same people sometimes and the other people get different names because God is playing cute? I do. Yeah. Bomb Poppy says, who does the dog's voice? Is that the evil one? No, I do all the voices for all the dogs. I have a special pair of pliers that I grip my left testicle with.
Twist.
The voice. Yeah. No, I've got 2 different things that help me do different voices.
Ooh.
Just ask the evil one to twist them for you.
No,
Might enjoy it.
no. She would very seriously enjoy it. That would be yes, the unspoken pain. She'd be pulling my scrotum up over my head.
Oh, wow.
Not something I would want, So good morning, everyone. Therapists indeed are standing by. I love it when I look up and I see all these little hearts or something going. I didn't notice it before whenever they do the reactions. That's pretty cool. John the Heretic says, I thought Trump was going to be Pope. Look,
I don't even think that's off the table for real.
Right.
After my Theocracy watch today, maybe that's a question we should start asking ourselves.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what, let's make predictions. We'll predict it here on the show.
We should make bets.
We'll make bets. All right, here's the bet. I'll make a bet. My bet is this, that they choose a pope that is not Donald Trump. And that pope steps aside by the end of Donald Trump's presidency. So he's got 3 years, between now and 3 years, to, for some reason, like the last one did, Benedict. Remember? Benedict stepped aside. He didn't die. He didn't ride out the office. He stepped aside so Francis could take over. And then he died quite a while after, a year or two later. So I'm just saying that's so then now he'll step aside. At that point, we'll have a very interesting conversation on this show about whether the smoke is going to be black, white, or orange. Yeah. I know people are like, I ain't being funny. I'm writing it down. What day is today? I am writing that shit down in my notes. Where's my notes? And what's God's issue with Shellfish? All right, today, 5, 8, what's 25? What year are we in? Predicted Trump I predicted stuff. Pope. I'll clip a video. I know what I'm thinking. I'll come back later and I'll see my chicken scratch and go, oh my goodness. Taking bets. Let's see here. I don't know. Can you guys hear that? There's noise in the background.
Yeah.
Something? Okay. Just it's going to get very bad. It's going to go right over the thing here. So if it sounds like I've got gas.
Yeah. Oh man.
It does. But...
I know. I do. That I do.
That's what that sounds like.
Yeah. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got this new chair. It's a little kind of fancy, but I still kind of move myself up and down. And in that video you watched just a second ago, I'm sitting there and I took off the glasses and I set them down and I kind of went, and I said, or whatever I said, and just like an instant before I said that, my chair fart squeaked. And I was like, man. So I had to go in there and remove that. I was like, it was like a wet fart squeak too. I was like, I really, in thinking about it now, I should have left that in there. And then, I mean, just to intimidate, open it up with a huge fart squeak as I'm taking off my glasses, right? You see me at the beginning, just lean over to one side. Yeah. I'm the classy atheist. Okay. On point, man. So, Geo Sam asks if I could ask them to do the roof quietly. Yes.
Right?
Yes. All I do is shake my fist at the sky.
Yeah.
Somehow I wounded myself yesterday. I don't know how I did that.
Yikes.
Right. I didn't wash it, though. I decided to pray over it instead. It's doing okay. It stings a little bit and it's starting to get red around the edges, but the prayers
A little puffy.
bound to kick in soon. Yeah.
It's warm.
Yes.
To the touch.
I may know like a wound care nurse somewhere on Facebook. I'll have to hit her up. I don't think she does Facebook, to be honest. Geo Sam, yes, could they do cry? Miss Nonsequitur says, oh, now we know what's really going on. Roof work or very disturbing intestinal problem. Well, the wife made her world famous chili last night. I mean, it was like, were we sleeping in a bed or was it a hot air balloon? You're like, and then the blanket would lift and then it would go down. It's toxic, really. If you see the red traveling up your arm, the prayers are working their way to your heart. That's so true. That's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on. I don't know how it happened. I think it was divinely inspired somehow. Horrible masturbating accident, I guess. I don't know. Wrong arm. Ow.
Your shoulder, too.
Just now. Showing you my arm hurt my shoulder. That's how old I am. Good morning, Raven. How you doing? All the funny stuff already happened.
Yeah.
And everybody else is. Yes, we were talking about, and I don't know that we ever got a solid answer, but we're curious as to why God hates shellfish. What's his issue with it? I mean, did he like try to use a lobster as like a fleshlight and it nipped on his balls? What happened? I need to know.
Yikes.
The lobster pinch.
Whoa. That was the early slap chop. That's how they would circumcise themselves.
The lobsters.
And it would yoink, yoink, yoink,
The
yoink.
lobster. The lobster. Oh, no way. That's, Were they purple?
Obviously not, but
Were they Tyrion purple?
they were putting their peepees inside the mollusk.
Oh,
Is that
man.
why the heads of our dicks
Purple
are purple?
One-eyed,
Oh,
one horse
man.
blind purple people eater. That's where it came from.
Oh, my goodness.
Right-handed Sith. Good morning. Greetings, schemers, dreamers, and blasphemers. I think he's talking about us. Nomad is here. The shaking fist because he lives in the waters outside of the universe.
Ooh.
Maybe he just knows how yucky they are. Ooh, yucky. Right-handed Sis says, I'm older than you and not old. Very true. God thought you get crabs from eating crabs. I know, right?
Man.
Crotch critters, creepy crotch critters. Okay, now that we're all back and done doing that thing, I'm going to hit the button and we're going to do Theocracy Watch and see what the hell is going on in this world.
You're tuned into the Atheist Morning Show on the Dan Network. And this is Theocracy Watch. Oh, should I go or no? Okay.
You should go. I'm sorry. It happened yesterday because I set up well, actually what really happened, I'll tell you what really happened. I fat fingered it. I have a button set up and I went to hit the Theocracy Watch, but here's the deal, right? This is what my control panel looks like for the show, if you can see that.
Yep.
And the Theocracy Watch is one of the, and it's just, I need a new thing. I need a new thing with a screen that's more grande than that. It's got to be Apple and stuff, and I'll get there. Or I just need to remove some of them. But anyway, 1,000 apologies. Okay, I'm going to hit the button, and you can go with your Theocracy Watch. Give me just a second here, because we're in the right studio. And go.
Okay. Happens when a child's right to safety collides with a clergy member's claimed right to religious secrecy. Washington state picked the child. The Catholic Church picked silence. And now the Department of Justice says this new bill is unconstitutional. Good morning, fellow inquisitors, and welcome back to Theocracy Watch, where we track our government's ever-growing obsession with religious control and the erosion of public rights. Signed into law May 2nd, Washington state passed that bill that we recently talked about, Senate Bill 5375, which says if you're a member of the clergy and you learn about child abuse, even in confession, you are legally obligated to report it. Sounds pretty simple and straightforward. Protect kids, hold adults accountable. But instead of supporting the law, the Department of Justice under the Trump administration has launched a federal investigation, not into the abuse, the crimes, or the cover-up, but whether it's unfair that the priests who don't want to say anything have to tell law about child abuse.
Yes.
The DOJ has even labeled the law anti-Catholic law, which is a deliberate distortion of what the bill actually does. I am so gobsmacked. The bill protects innocent victims from institutional cover-up and targets the systemic silence that allows these leaders across denominations to assault children with impunity. But they say confession is sacred, a sacrament. But let's be honest, this seal of confession isn't biblical. Give me the scripture that discusses the seal of confession. Oh, wait, there is none because it's made up. Jesus didn't invent it, the prophets don't mention it, and it wasn't practiced in the early church. It was created by the Catholic leadership in the 13th century, and now they're using it to shield predators and create a breeding ground of manipulation, guilt, coerced secrecy, and institutional gaslighting. The DOJ is lamenting it targets Catholics, which is an indication of what the bill really does. It targets the systemic silence that has allowed these priests, the elders, the pastors to grape children and walk free. That includes all religions, Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, Scientologists alike. The language in the DOJ investigation is painting legal accountability as religious oppression. Calling it persecution is an insult to every victim. Silence isn't faith, it's a defense strategy. Meanwhile, the church isn't just defending its rituals, they're doubling down, issuing threats. The Archbishop of Seattle has warned priests, if you follow this law and report an abuser, you will be excommunicated. Let's be real. If stopping a predator gets you excommunicated, your religion is not under attack. It's the breeding ground and shelter. The call is coming from inside the house. It's coming from inside the White House, if you ask me, and the confession booth. Mind you, this is happening while the same people cry states' rights in one breath and then send the DOJ after Washington state for protecting kids. It's part of a bigger pattern and trend, weaponizing religious freedom to undermine civil protections, elevating theology above law, and sending a message to victims that their suffering is less important than tradition, man-made tradition, not backed by scripture. And apparently, to get away with murder, you only need to don a robe, a Bible, and claim religious freedom. If telling the truth makes you an enemy of the church, then the church was never on the side of truth to begin with. Let's stop calling it sacrament and confront what it really is, a shield. So until next time, stay curious. This has been your daily dose of Theocracy Watch.
Wowzers. Wow. Sorry about the sound, by the way.
Law. No, you're fine. Anti-Catholic law. It is not about just Catholics. It's for everybody who has religious hierarchy.
Yeah. But that's so telling. Just in that, in and of itself, that they even call it that is so telling. That hey, somebody who wants to protect children is actually anti-Catholic. That's weird.
That's what they're calling us.
It's very telling. It's oh my goodness. I was shocked when I heard you say that. Darante still looks shocked.
We just talked about it last year. Last week, excuse me. We just spoke about it last week. I said, I'll let you know as soon as it's signed. And I had it on my radar to let you guys like, hey, congratulations, great news. And now this.
Yep.
Wow.
Yikes.
I want to mention part of the deal, though. All right, now here's the deal. If they lose the sanctity of confession and the security of confession, that's significant. Yes, that's significant. Let me start over. If they lose the sanctity of confession, then that is actually part of the bedrock of their power. Yes, they want to protect children, I'm sure, but if people realize that they don't have to go through them to talk to God, that they can be absolved without coming through a priest,
Oh yeah.
that's the end of the whole Catholic Church. So it really does in a way make sense.
It'll eventually, hopefully, I mean, I would hope that it would eventually undermine their
Yes.
religion. And I think that they know that.
Yeah.
They see
Absolutely.
that.
And the fact, though, that they even have to have a law like this, that they're doing this stuff out in the open, is a couple of things. One is, again, Donald Trump pandering to the Christians, in this case, specifically the Catholics, but all the Christians. Donald, whose middle name is actually Donald in the Epstein files folder. What's you got going on there, girl? I see your face.
Oh, no, sorry. I just apologize. I wanted to put the link. I put it in the chat so you guys
Please.
can go read the language, because again,
Awesome.
they use that very like, what do you call it? It's like theocratic warfare where they're using language, they're twisting the words. My brain isn't even thinking right now.
No, that's fine.
Loaded
That's
language is what we call it in JWs.
Yes.
Loaded language.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Let me do this. Part of the reason I can't, I'm trying to click that link. One of the deals is that I have had somebody on one of the Jehovah's Witness on the Theocracy Watch channel. One of the people have actually said, "Hey, do you have a links for the thing? Damn it. Would you send that to me?" Maybe I can click it over here. There it is. Let me try it over here.
You got it?
Damn it. No. Oh, yes. Continue. Go to site. Sorry. I got it right here. Okay. So I just want to make a note for that. Whenever I create a Theocracy Watch, I'll have a note for that. Oh, my goodness. That is just horrific. Office First Amendment investigation into Washington State's new anti-Catholic law.
Yep.
Man. Okay. I got other words. What's that?
Poor
Catholics. I know. We need to, start loudly voicing that the DOJ is pro. Yeah, no doubt. PDF file. Yes, they are. Let me go here real quick and finish my thoughts. They lose their power. Now, here's something that I also found quite disturbing about the situation. They get excommunicated. They're threatening priests for obeying the law.
Mm-hmm.
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 I don't understand how that blatant. If I was out here encouraging people to break the law, that'd be a problem.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Well, you're not doing it in the name of the Lord.
Yep.
What
No,
Lord?
right.
You have gas? I understand, Lord.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Archdiocese is threatening people.
Mm-hmm.
But what
yeah,
if,
yeah.
like, okay, so they're saying that it goes against Catholics' religious freedom. Well, what about the priests who maybe would like to, go tell authorities when abuse is happening? Maybe they would like to, but they feel like they're not allowed to.
Yeah.
Just here we go. Maybe just like the Southern Baptists had split away from the Baptists, what they maybe should do is have one group of clergy, like on their collar, it can have like a little symbol or something that says, "I support child grape." And the other ones, their little symbol essentially says, "If you confess child grape to me, I'll tell on you."
Yeah. Yeah.
One's like, "I won't tell on you." The other one says, "I'll tell on you." They could, maybe they could have different colors.
No.
These people are disgusting. This is
It's bad.
it's bad.
It's
Thank you
bad.
for the $5 super chat. Raven Lunatic says, "What's a politician's idea of foreplay? A 10-minute speech on family values followed by a 10-second scandal." No doubt. And then like leaving $2. What's that?
Oh, sorry. I didn't get to point out. I was going to quote this, but I didn't get to quote
please
it. But
do.
at the end of it, it says, "Worse, the law appears to single out clergy as not entitled to assert applicable privileges as compared to other reporting professionals. We take this matter very seriously and look forward to Washington State's cooperation with our investigation." They're acting as if these priests are being singled out.
Yeah.
All these other people are mandated reporters, and they're not crying persecution. Teachers, therapists, doctors, what have you. Why do they feel as though, like, again, it's just that, oh, we're being persecuted, we're the actual victim here, when that's not the case? It's a distraction.
That's true. That's true. Well, that's just, again, like we mentioned yesterday, these are the guys who, as they swing the club of oppression, go, stop oppressing me. Oh, if I could just time that right.
Yep.
Get it right. Get it right.
Man.
For those who don't know, I'm getting my roof replaced. They're putting the stuff on, and it makes it loud. And in a couple, hopefully not too long, we're going to be getting solar panels put on. So soon. Marduk gave us a sticker. Man, that's a cool looking sticker. It's cool that I can see it. Thank you, Marduk Duke 1, for the $9, the $10 super sticker. That's fantastic. Much appreciated. Maria, our cat, persecuted my arse. I know, right?
Yes.
But it's the whole thing. We've talked about this on the show about how they are the ones who are the most likely to oppress or to snicker or to side-eye or to give people shit for being gay, for being lesbian, for being trans, for being brown, for being black, for being a woman. Christians are just the worst. And yet they're having the anti-Christian bias office. Isn't that just, that's crazy.
The faith office.
Right. They're going to be enforcing their religion with jackbooted thugs. Yeah. Like ICE. It'll be a version of ICE. I wonder if they'll have their own version of ICE that has something to do with religion, to where they're going in, kicking in doors because of religion. I know that sounds crazy. It's crazy talk. But it wouldn't surprise me. Or if they come up with a division of ICE that specifically deals with Christian threats. So, they could call it Christ with the ICE in the middle, CR, and then ICE.
Oh.
And then some T at the end. And I've also been talking about Donald Trump is dying to take that cross from the top, middle to the top.
Yeah.
He's dying to start. The notion of him, again, he's really sucking up hard to the Christians overall. And he's really swinging his kind of suck up to the Catholics, especially. Now, we see it as how Donald Trump went to the Pope's funeral in a blue suit. Everybody else was in a black suit. Despite what he was asked to do, he went in a blue suit. Donald Trump, that's typical of his reaction to kind of everything, flaunting it. And then he released the image of him as the next Pope. After being asked, I'll be okay.
That sounds bad.
Oh, man.
After being asked about, who would he like to see to be the next Pope? Oh, me. I'd like to see me as the next Pope. And then Lindsey Graham hit his knees so fucking fast, he must have busted patella. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he must have cracked the freaking pavement with his knees. But I suspect he's probably has knee pads on all the time, just for emergencies like that. Donald Trump said, "What? Wham!" on his knees.
Ow!
Oh, man.
But there's Lindsey Graham also making the same suggestion. I think it's really cool that Donald Trump, blah 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 blah. It's a joke. Yeah. Let's see. There are all these things that Donald Trump starts out with as a joke turns into not being a joke. And so, how much money do you think it would take to buy out the Catholic papacy over the next few years? Does Donald Trump have that much money?
Oh, I bet. I'm sure he can. I mean, I'm sure that Elon could just cut it from somewhere and give it to another department.
Yeah, no doubt.
Static.
Yeah, and they actually have a list. They have a list of all the people who would make the decision as to who the next pope is, because they just lined them all up publicly.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about this in a year or two and see what's going on.
And not a woman in sight.
Yeah, no.
Why would there be a woman inside? I don't understand how your mind flips about.
Just a bunch of dudes circle jerking each other behind
Oh,
closed doors.
Oh, that sounds.
You know
fun.
what? I should. Oh, you know what I should have done? It's too late now. Hey, deconstruction. It's not too late for everyone though. Some of them just got here. Deconstruction Zone. Justin, thank you for joining us. He says, to be fair, Trump is qualified to be Pope given the amount of kids he's. Dang. Dang. Ouch. We do sell burn cream. Father Flanagan has his own burn cream. That's fantastic. Oh my goodness.
Oh, hey, that's the only qualification he needs, apparently. Oh my God, I'm dead.
Oh,
That was so
goodness
good.
gracious. Thank you very much for the super chat, the $5 super chat. That was fantastic.
The problem is these religions, like, I think this Geo Sam, I don't know if he was asking a question or it was a statement and it accidentally looked like a question, but he said, like, they don't have a right to, the Catholic Church or any other church should not receive special treatment under the law. It looks like a question. My issue is, like, as a JW, they make their own laws and then they follow those laws and then they don't have to follow.
That is absolutely correct.
They consider themselves a government. And you're supposed to follow that government because, of course, allegedly that's God's government versus, law.
Yeah.
When you actually do a deep dive into it, you realize that, like, religions pretty much get carte blanche from the U.S. government to operate like sovereign nations within a nation. It's insane.
It is. Hey, for those of you like Justin from Deconstruction Zone who are just showing up, I want to let you know that there's some things going on. You might hear some sounds. And what that is that Rion had some burrito dinner last night, and she is powerfully gassy. Powerfully gassy. Her and Pickle both.
Here, but...
Yes. So that's what you're hearing, Justin. She's just blowing out her seat. I mean, we'll be gentle. I'm getting my roof replaced.
Sure.
That's what it is. It wasn't a burrito guacamole sauce that I had. Hey, Justin, I just want to mention, if you're near your studio and if you got your hair combed, you got a link. You're welcome to pop in and join us if you have time and you're feeling like it. Otherwise, let me know if you're available again, and I'll schedule you for a show with just you. No offense to the Apostate Sisters, love to have them on again too. But it just there was like a confluence of situations that I'd like to get you on the show by yourself, alone and scared. Oh. Me and Ryan, of course, and
naked,
and Darante. So. Whenever you get the urge. But, of course, the Apostate Sisters are fantastic. I'd like to get them again on the show, too.
Oh, I got to fill out that thing. I keep saying I was going to fill out their calendar, and I keep forgetting. Okay, I will do that today.
I did that. I did that, too, because I kept forgetting, too, as well, so I could be on their show. There's this thing. I'm developing a calendar, and I'm going to be on a couple things, really. Developing a calendar. I'm going to be on Neil's The 604 Atheist Show, June 28th, I believe. I want to, that's cool. Deconstruction Zone, Justin, I want to mention, I'll get you some links, YouTube links for my commercials, the fun ones that you can use if you're interested in doing those. Again, let me know when you can be on the show, and we'll do the thing. So, yeah, because the last time I sent him the wrong kind of links. I send you the good links, the good stuff. I send you the good
Pornhub?
Stuff. No, he has to pay extra. That's part of the OnlyFans. So here, what I will do now, I think we just ran the one. I'm going to run us another one of our commercials. Hey, Justin, let me ask Justin, have you seen The Pup? If you haven't seen The Pup, I don't think anybody's too tired of it yet. I'll run The Pup. It's my Pope commercial, my Pope parody skit. Have you seen the Pope parody skit?
He's a Pope.
I love the Pope parody skit.
It's the Pope Pup.
If you're a glutton for punishment.
Glutton.
I'm a glutton. Just glutton.
Period.
Stop there.
Right. Go
Oh,
no
you said
further.
glutton with a G. Thought it was an S.
Oh man.
I'm a slutton.
I was struggling with that one. I was like, wait a minute. I get
Me
it.
too. It was really hard to get my brain. I'm sorry, I'm a bad person. All right, so thank you very much. Here's for $2. I'll give you the pup. I hope you enjoy this, Justin. Check this out. This is one of my send you links to if you want to run it on your show. Hee 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 hee.
Flanagan,
Yes, sir. Very disturbing, I know.
fetch me Father Flanagan.
You're Heine.
You are in the presence of His Holiness, the Pupius Maximus, guardian of the sacred fire hydrant, defender of the holy tennis ball, and eater of the golden kibble, Pup Oliver Hoopsalot the Fifth.
You're Popedom. I heard you have a bone to pick with me.
Condoms, Father Flanagan.
No, thank you. I've got plenty.
That's what I mean. Why are you selling condoms?
Oh, you mean our Pharaoh Sombrero line of condoms. Understood.
You know how we feel about those around here.
Well, they're not to be used by the Catholics, of course.
Not for Catholics?
No, they're part of our Sinner Gonna Sin Lack of Faith outreach program.
A sinner gonna what?
It's like getting the tithe, but from the heretics and the heathens and the atheists.
Oh, well, when you put it like that,
But, Your Highness, this will reflect very poorly on the church.
true. You know what this means, Flanagan?
Warning label, a warning label on the box, not for Catholics in big letters.
Too subtle.
Instant purgatory if used by Catholics.
I like it. Divine branding.
Excellent, your Popedom. Will there be anything else?
That will be all. You may leave.
All right, and we are back. So, Justin, I hope you enjoyed that. The pup. There'll be more of the pup coming soon, and more episodes of Father Flanagan. You know, Father Flanagan laboratories and stuff like that. We've got lots of interesting things coming up. It's going to be fun. Let me know if you see any of them, like that one or the goat scented flesh candle, that you'd like to have on. For any of you, really, other content creators who do live streams, I'd love to share those with you for commercials on your show.
And we even got fans singing songs.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It was Miss Non Sequitur, right? Did a little ditty for us.
We're going to create an area in our Discord for fans if they want to do things. What she did was she took the Ghost Scented Flesh Candle song and she sang it. That's fantastic.
Yes.
I try to do that, but I have to grab that little clamp we were talking about. I don't like the clamp. Maria says her puppies, Chewy and Butters, say hello. I love dogs.
Hi, Papa.
Dogs are my favorite people. I have to be honest. I would just assume, like, talk to your dogs, any of your dogs, rather than you. No offense to anybody. I'm just a dog person. People suck, not always in the good kind of way.
I'd rather
And dogs
dogs
don't.
were present.
Yeah, dogs don't suck because they don't have collapsible cheeks. They have what they call. There's a word for their cheeks. I'll think of it. They can't suck a straw, kind of thing. Because
Yeah.
they
When
don't
they're
have
babies,
incomplete
they
cheeks.
suck, though, right? When they're babies,
Yeah, but then they grow out and they have incomplete cheeks. They're called incomplete cheeks.
Oh wow. I did not know
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
jowls.
Jowls.
Yes.
Yeah.
The hell are we talking about? You know, that sounds like a perfect time for a scripture with Darante. Now, friends, I got these fat fingers, and in some cases, they really work out. But in this case, I'm going to hit this button. I'm going to try to hit this button that says a scripture with Darante.
All right, welcome back, folks. Today, we're going to be looking in the book of Numbers, chapter 21, verse 5 and 6. It says, they spoke against God and against Moses and said, why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? There is no bread, there is no water, and we detest this miserable food. Then the Lord sent venomous snakes among them. They bit the people, and many Israelites died. All right, let's be clear. The people who are wandering in a desert, hungry, thirsty, tired, they cry out in frustration. And how does God respond? Not with compassion, not with correction, with venom. He sends a wave of poisonous snakes to bite them and kill them. Let's call this what it is, divine overreaction. These are the same people who were enslaved, beaten, dehumanized, and now, for the crime of complaining about the catering, they get fed to a pit of vipers. This isn't justice. This is sadism. And if you think that's dramatic, remember, God made the snakes, God sent the snakes, God watched as they tore through the camp, and only after enough bodies stacked up did he offer a solution. Put a bronze snake on a pole, whoever looks at it will live. That's not mercy. That's a setup. God causes the wound, then sells the cure. Sounds familiar? Because this is a pattern all throughout Scripture. Divine punishment first, then mercy with conditions. And still, Christians will tell you God is patient, God is love, God doesn't want anyone to perish. Unless you complain about lunch, then it's snakes. So here's the takeaway. If your God responds to hunger and fear with venom and death, maybe it's not your attitude that needs adjusting. Maybe it's your image of God. And that'll be all, folks, for today's scripture. I think you are muted, Chris.
That's fantastic. You know, I want to mention here, I believe that was as per request.
It was.
Thank you very much. Y'all didn't know that Darante takes requests. Yeah, so that was one of them. If I remember correctly, they were complaining about, I mean, he eventually gave them food first, right? Yeah. And like said, fatten yourselves up, bitches, and then threw the snakes at them. So they were all, just imagine being engorged, just, oh my goodness, then these snakes come out of anywhere. You gotta run from that shit. I mean, like running, puking on myself, shatting myself because of the snakes. I mean, this is God.
This is God. You know, and the funny thing is, as a pastor, when I used to read this whole encounter in Numbers, I used to feel bad for Moses. Like, that's who I felt bad for. And I did not realize until I was going back through Bible study with an ex-pastor how effed up that was and how much that was social conditioning, because that's how it's written. It's written to be like a polemic to leadership of how hard leadership is. You have to carry the burden of everybody. And so I'm supposed to feel more sorry for Moses for having to carry up the burden of these people than I am for the people who are actually starving right at the moment. I'm supposed to feel more bad for Moses. It's insane.
Right. So this wasn't the same. This was the same time or the same group of people who were swallowed up shortly thereafter. A different group of people. Same story though, right?
Yeah. Same timeline.
How do you know these? Because, you know, I mean, like, if you know the story we were talking about it the other day, how they were like, Moses, what makes you think you can lead? And God's like, separate yourself from these people, and they gobbles them up. And these other people are like, damn, that was harsh, Moses. Did you see that? He just gobbled them up. And Moses like, separate yourself from these people. And Moses throwing down some incense and killing stuff. What a horrific God monster, if you know anything about the Old Testament. Deconstruction Zone for $5 says, what do priests and clocks have in common? They both started So you're saying you want the Father Flanagan's Altar Boys commercial. Understood. Inflatable Altar Boys commercial. I'll get that right over to you. We've got a link for that. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Justin. I appreciate that. You know,
yes.
Goodness gracious. But do you remember that we've had people come in and clutch their pearls because of the Father Flanagan inflatable altar boy commercial?
Oh, yes.
And now we've got this Office of Public Affairs Justice Department announces First Amendment investigation into Washington State's new anti-Catholic law. And the anti-Catholic law is what? The law that requires them to report if somebody confesses. That's the oh my goodness gracious, these people. Snakes on a Plane, Yahweh edition. We did, that was great.
I'm tired of all these motherfucking snakes in this motherfucking plane.
That was great. Thank you for that.
Oh man, that's beautiful. That's
we talked about that yesterday. That was the original version of Snakes on a Plane. That was great.
Oh man.
Poor Moses. You know, you think about the things that had to, or went on with Moses, and I mean, I don't know nearly enough about the character. Fictional character. I don't. I'm one of those, much like Ryan, that I don't know if I believe he exists or not. You know, existed or not. Probably just a collection of hero stories or some business. But there's a lot there that proves that even if their God creature is real, it's horrific. It's most horrific. It's fascinating. And it's amazing the projection.
Oh yeah.
We get this people coming up in the chat and going, "Hey, you're bad, and you just want to. Why are you against Christians? They just want to help people, and they just want to protect kids, and they want to do this." I'm like, "Oh my God, what did you just say? You said that in my chat, in my comment. You said that to the wrong person because I got like receipts." We've got entire schools of Catholic apologetics dedicated to this very issue of things that we can't even say on our channel without causing issues. So thank you, Raven Lunatic, for the $5 super chat. Says, why did Jesus die a virgin? Every gash. What do you guys want to read that out? I don't know. I got
man.
Darante wants to.
Darante, go ahead, man. You can do it. Can you do it without? Man, that was.
I don't want to do it.
Are you don't want to do it?
I don't want to do it.
All right, I'll do it. Raven Lunatic for $5 says, why did Jesus die a virgin? Every gash he touched, touched, healed, and closed up. I want to have a hard time.
That's a bad day, man. That's a bad day.
That is rough for everybody.
Can you imagine if you're the woman and you're thinking you're about to get some, and then he gets down there and then it just closes up on you forever? And he just walks away and says, "You're welcome, bitch." You know, it's like that would be so rough.
Can you imagine the look on his face? What is this? It's just the end of a gut.
You're a perpetual virgin now. Like, you've been blessed.
Mom. Wow, that's rough.
Oh,
the original Oedipus complex.
Oof.
Yikes.
Thank you for the belly laugh, Raven. Appreciate that. And the super chat. Marduk, anyone seen the Vampire on a Plane movie? I forgot what it's called. It's actually not too bad. I don't think I have. I don't tend to watch a lot of vampire movies unless they sparkle. I said I've never seen a vampire movie where they sparkle.
Like, what is he doing on the plane? Can't vampires fly?
Can't be right. Right-handed Sith. In Baldur's Gate, you don't suffer the bear. The bear. You don't stuff the bear. The bear stuffs you if you're lucky.
Yum.
Wow.
Oh no, gorillas. That's another.
Wow. You know, that changes. It's no longer brown chicken, brown cow. It's brown chicken, brown bear. I know, right? Dracula Untold is probably the best vampire movie. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I think I remember seeing that one.
Yeah. Deconstruction Zone says, makes sense that women had her blood flow ended by touching.
Especially
I'll
fix that for you.
Man.
I wish it was that easy.
I'll fix that for you.
Oh, goodness gracious. You know, one of the things, Justin, we've been talking about on the show is that Darante and I have come up with this notion. Bear with me. We've come up with this notion that God loves blood. God has got a serious stiffy for blood.
Mhm.
If there's blood going on, God needs to loosen his drawers because it's getting blood down. I know, like strong like bull.
Oh.
Unless that blood comes from a woman's vagina.
That's right.
If it comes from there, then she's unclean. Her clothes are unclean. The people who helped her wash are unclean. The baby that came through there is unclean for like a week. If the baby that came through there also has one of those vagina things, it's also unclean for 2 weeks, and she's unclean for 2 weeks, and all this business. I mean, it really, really does not like vaginal hemoglobin.
I have a question though.
Okay.
So like how serious do they take it? Like what, so if you're like seriously injured in an accident and I'm the only doctor and I'm on my period, like they like what? They wouldn't want me to be operating on them?
That's crazy.
Well,
that's a serious question. Does it go that far? Like how far does it go?
Are you saying that there are women in these United States right now who stop. Women doctors who are operating on people while they're bleeding? Oh my God, that's courageous. I can't. They're unclean, woman. They're unclean. How can they be? They're unclean in the eyes of the Lord. It's disgusting.
Oh man.
Doesn't that sound weird? The way I mock, it just sounds.
No, because that's how. That's what I don't understand. They are that serious about it. They don't want to touch people's hands. What? Like, what if I prepare their food? Like, they would need it, or would they ask me, like, "Ma'am, are you bleeding?"
Yep, that's right. One of those things, I think, it really is just determined by it's a spectrum. And thank you, Raven for the lunatic. Give me just a second. Because if I read that, I will not remember what I'm going to say. It's a spectrum. It's a spectrum based on how fanatical they are, how close to the text they follow. Because all these religions are really, every sect is just a little closer to the actual who's the most fanatical. I watched recently the movie The Seventh Sign, and Demi Moore's character goes to see this. I think he's a Hasidic Jew. And so he opens the door and he's like, come on in. And she reaches out and grabs his hand. And he's like, oh. And then his wife comes in and starts yelling at her and she backs out the door. And then she finds out that, you're not supposed to, he's not supposed to touch any woman but his wife. And you offended them both. Mm-hmm. And again, it's just a matter of the spectrum. Though they, in that particular faith, are on the spectrum closer to the fanatical side. So in that case, that would be a legitimate question for them. What do you do when she's on her cycle? How do they handle that today in this modern world? Yeah.
What if your clothes what if I sewed your clothes and I was on my like how far do you take it?
So to all that end, I just want to mention that we, Darante and I, have come up with a special formula. It's called God Be Gone. It's Father Flanagan's Laboratories is working diligently right now to get this product available for everyone. It's called God Be Gone. It's actually like menstrual blood in a spray that you can spray around your house. Oh, he's got a real hard on for door frames. It's like a vampire. Put what is that, garlic over the door frame to keep the vampire out or some of that business. God's that way. Put blood over the door frame and he won't kill your children.
That's right.
See, I'm not as dumb as I look. I saw this on TV once. So yes, just remember, so as soon as we've got it up, it'll come in like gallons and then maybe 55-gallon drums of God Be Gone. Finding that many menstruating women to donate, though, has been the hard challenge.
I think what you really need is like aerosol spray, or maybe even get yourself, what's those water guns? The ones where you pump that.
Oh, yeah.
Keep one of those by the front door in case some wandering God comes along.
Super soaker, man. Yeah.
Soak that hoe.
I wonder.
Yes.
That's right.
I love that.
I wonder if the almighty evil God monster, is like a shark. Do you need like pure vaginal hemoglobin, or can you just like have diluted, like take a 5,000-gallon container of water and put just a drop of vaginal hemoglobin in there, and then that's enough. You know,
I think the more I think about it, it seems that anything that has been touched by the vagina. So if you just put a vagina on one end of it, as long as it comes through the vagina, it's God repellent.
But wait, I have a question.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no, that might be. I'm sorry. That's no. I don't want to ask that question. Never mind.
well, no, it has to. No, not on the stream. Maybe.
No, it might.
Did your filter kick in? Your filter.
I thought maybe
Yeah.
better of it because we have
That's
traumatized
true.
people in here, and I don't want to say that.
That's right. One of the things about our show is that whenever our filters kick in, I've noticed you guys are wonderful and you've respected my filter. Whenever I said, "Oh shit, I better not say that," so I'm not going to coerce you into saying whatever it was you were going to say. We're just going to move on and consider ourselves untraumatized.
Good.
For now.
Thank goodness. I'm just traumatized in my head.
Yes. Hive side. Good morning, Bree. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah.
Nice to have you.
You
Oh,
came
damn.
through a vagina, so you might be repelled by God.
I just came up with my own theology now. That's the reason nobody can see God. It's because you came through a vagina. Because you
Oh,
came
my
through
goodness.
a vagina. This is why you can't have a relationship with God. You're literally walking God repellent because you came through a vagina.
Because you came from the vagina. There's pickles. No, wait. Does that? What about people? What about cesarean people?
Oh.
Maybe
Which
that's
I
a
am.
loophole.
Which
That's
I
a
am.
loophole.
That's a loophole. Like anal sex is a loophole.
I mean, so
It'll wreck your loophole.
instead of coming through the front door, you're gonna come through the attic window. Is that how that goes?
It's sort of like that. Yes.
Is that the
right.
fisherman's porch?
10 times on the scene.
There's Pickles. Yay, Pickles. Pickles is our on-site engineer for the Daily Atheist Morning Show for the Northeast United States. Keeping
Man, I don't want
going. I don't think we pay her enough. She looks very sad. Okay,
That's
there
how
she is.
Aston does me sometimes. Like, what do you want? Why do you want me now?
That's right. That's right. Ollie usually loves me unless he's sleeping. But my dogs are. Daisy's under here. Oh my goodness, guys! You should have seen it yesterday. It was. Oh, Daisy's just a nervous. She literally just shakes like this. But whenever we got off the show, it was almost noon. I said, let's take them outside to go pee. And we go outside. And I went out there and I closed the gate to make sure they can't get out. And I open the door and I coax the puppies out. And Daisy gets all the way out in the yard, and she already knows there's still people here, right? But she's really got to pee bad, so she gets all the way out in the yard, and then she turns around and she starts to squat. And there's a guy right here behind me on the roof, and then he hits that drill, and as soon as he did, man, she lost her shit. Not in the kind of way we were out there. She started barking and running back and forth and running in the house. And then I'm like, come on, go. And she finally, and then she ran out to the middle of the yard. She turned around and she's just shaking like this and barking at him up on the roof. And then she squats and she's peeing like that. And she's just barking at him like, oh my God, I should have got it on. Oh, I should have got it on video. She was. Here she is. She's, come here, baby. Come here, Daisy. Daisy. Come here, Papa. Come here. She was under me and then I getting too loud for her. Yeah, so it was hilarious.
Shut up, Dad.
It was hilarious. I couldn't help but laugh. Oh my goodness, what a cute puppy dog. Oh, pee barks, that's right. Good morning, Azuki Limite. I hope I said that right. God is pretty human. Humans love to see just blood, long as they don't have to make contact with it. That's true. That's not a bad point. It's just that but actually, God isn't. In the Old Testament, God's all about blood. I mean, he wants blood all the time. He loves blood. There's bloody sacrifices, whether it be some kind of a blood sacrifice at an altar, or whether it be having Moses cut off the end of his son's penis, and then Moses' wife, Abraham, it was Moses.
Zipporah cut off and then rubbed it on him.
Yes, and then she rubbed that on Moses, the blood off that onto Moses, because God was going to kill him, and that saved him. These are the kind of examples we have of how God really loves. He really loves blood, especially if it comes from the penis. If it's penile blood, he's a fan. Loves it. Any other kind of blood, it's okay. You can offer it up. That's fine. Unless, as we mentioned, that blood comes from the vajayjay. If in there, there's a thing like a woman who's on her, I don't remember how it goes. There's unclean. You're unclean. If you have a child, you bleed through your place, you're unclean for a week if it's a man for 2 weeks if it's a woman, because it's yucky. So that's what I was saying. We've developed a product that, and
now we found out that there's a lot of, I don't know, what is it? Didn't we talk about this before? There's a lot of I forget. And is it stem cells? Is that what
I was thinking stem cells?
That's what I was thinking, but I felt like
oh yeah.
Stem cells.
Hey, if you will, that's perfect example. That's perfect. In my mind, these people who tend to be ultra religious like the right-wing religious nutbags, if you will, always seem to take absolutely the wrong freaking position on something. If it's good, they think it's bad. If it's bad, they think it's good. In this case, they like blood from vilified, victimized people. But the blood that you're talking about, the vaginal hemoglobin, as I've been trying to call it, right? Because you got to be careful what you say on here. But that blood actually has all kinds of good things. It's healthy and helpful. If you're going to rub anything on your skin, that should be the thing. I'm just saying, scientifically speaking. Mm-hmm. You were laughing. Somebody did something in the chat. Did you see what the newbie said?
As Azuki Limited?
Yeah.
So if I piss blood for daddy, he'll do
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Pissing blood is the best.
That's right. So are like kidney stones a blessing?
Oh,
Sounds painful.
oh.
I mean, well, right. It would be, wouldn't it? Because God's all about the pain and the blood. and especially if it was shameful.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, a new name. We've got a new name. Thank you, newbie. I see the new name, Azuki Limited. Welcome to the damnation. Thank you for joining us. And then we also have, I see NTR Impact. Cool name. Literally human sacrifice. Jephthah's daughter. That's right. In fact, I was talking to the evil one the other day. For those of you who don't know, and I'll play the goat scented flesh candle commercial here in just a second. For those of you who don't know, we're soon to be releasing some products. One of them is a goat scented flesh candle. But we have other products on the way as part of Father Flanagan's You Do You line of interfaith outreach programs. One of those is You Do You Jew interface. We're going to have a dove scented flesh candle. And we're going to have a calf scented flesh candle. And we're going to have a human scented flesh candle. And the wife was like, human scented? What do you mean? I was like, we're going to call it the Jephthah's Daughters edition. Because if you know, Jephthah's daughter was immolated. Where'd everybody go?
I don't know. Are we here?
I don't know. I'm like, did I shock people? I'm like, Jephthah's daughter. Yes, there we are.
Yeah, God loves
Jesse,
child
are you
sacrifice.
sucking some? God does love child. He's not against child sacrifice. He's against you sacrificing it to the wrong God.
Yeah.
Yep.
He actually demands.
That's his problem.
He does demand it.
He does demand
Several times. It's
Several.
not an accident.
Have you, in his defense though, have you met kids? And firstborn
Yeah,
kids are the shit anyway. I'm just saying. The firstborn ones. There's usually the ones you want to, I mean, after the second tooth's coming in there screaming all the time, you're like, I think God may need you. I hear God calling you, child. Thank you, left-handed Raven Lunatic, for the $5 super chat. What's the difference between sand and menstrual blood? You can't gargles.
That is hilarious.
Raven.
Yikes. Oh.
Raven Lunatic. Thank you for the $5 super chat.
Oh, man.
Pennies.
Oh, my goodness.
Tastes like iron ore.
Damn. Got your Red Wings. That's what they call it now, Red Wings.
Yes, get your Red Wings. That's correct.
Yeah,
That is
for
great.
those of you who are old enough to know your Red Wings, yes.
I remember
Oh,
that.
man.
Red Wings will give you bull. Wait, I don't think that's how it goes.
Yahweh was considered the bull, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, yes, that's fantastical. All right. Maria loves the blood jokes. I just, it's not a joke.
Oh, man.
God be gone. We're really coming up with God be gone, people. Damn, Danny Boss. Good morning, Danny Boss. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show, fellow
We're
burner.
just talking about blood. No big deal.
We're just talking about vaginal blood. Not just any
vaginal
blood, right?
blood,
'Cause, yeah.
kids sacrifice, it was just
Yes,
fun
yes.
topics for the whole
Circumcision blood,
family.
penis blood,
Fun.
all the best kinds.
I mean, blood is
Right.
good blood, right? All blood.
That's right. This is not the Burger King of blood. This is the
It's not the fast food.
right. It's le chez moi de blood. Nomad is here. Throw some foreskin and throw in some foreskin, and you've got a nice cocktail. Huh. Interesting. Play on words. Jesse Bear, maybe we should talk about foreskin again. Oh yeah, no. Maybe. I tell you what, I'm gonna refill my coffee. We still got about 20 minutes. That's loads of time. I'm gonna refill my coffee and I'm gonna play some goats to offend those people who yes.
Of burning dough flesh rise up to the heavens.
Is that goat?
It's easy, it's fast, and deluxe models even have patented technology that produces a goat screaming sound as the wick burns.
Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented candles. Save a goat, burn a candle.
Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented flesh candles are part of our You Do You Jew interfaith outreach program.
When you sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. When the Lord requires that pungent smell, light a candle or you're going to hell.
Okay, all right. I screwed up on the thing. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna run instead of the ghost scented flesh candles, I'm gonna run another one because my fault on the sound. I'll make sure the sound is working. Let's go with we did the ghost scented. Let's go with where is she? There she is. She made it back. Let's do this.
I did it.
I'm gonna watch and make sure it has sound. Is our humble parish tired of constant litigation? Drained by bloodthirsty lawyers, sucking the collection plates dry? Well, no more threats of jail time and public humiliation. Try Father Flanagan's line of inflatable altar boys. Cute little fellas, eyes and mouth wide with surprise, complete with lifelike tears. Father Flanagan's line of inflatable altar boys, coming to a Walmart near you. And we're back. Adrian says, Raven, Chris needs you on as a regular for a comedy section on the stream. I think it might
Right?
help. I mean, isn't he?
Raven would be
He's already here.
Hilarious.
That's funny. I dig it. I think that'd be great. If any of you ever seen Bob and Tom, ever heard of Bob and Tom? It's a morning radio show.
No, I don't
They have a
think.
pretty good. It's Bob and Tom, Christy Lee, and Chick McGee. There was 4 of them. And every now and then this comedian would call in. His name was, oh man, what the hell was his name? Shit. I can't remember his name.
Your name.
I know, that's a hard name. But he'd call in on the show, or like once or twice a week, he'd call in on the show and he'd have these, and it was hilarious. I just can't think of his name. I'll think of it. He passed away though.
Oh,
Yes.
he did.
Tim Bigler says, I'm part of the Morning Breath Club. Yes. Trina says those guys are hilarious. Yeah, so you've Bob and Tom. So they're Bob and Tom people out there. I'd love to see the show turn out like a Bob and Tom situation. That's fantastic. Those guys are stupid rich.
Are
They got
they?
syndicated back in like 1989 or shit. Been nationwide that long.
Oh, dang.
And yeah, one of them, they're just stupid rich.
Man.
But there was a comedian. What the hell is his name? He's like, I did this right here or whatever. I told my wife, I swear to God, I did. He was just, Bill Baker, Tommy Baker. Some shit. Anyway, it's good fun shit. Let me go here. Adrian, because you read the Bible. Yeah. traumatized from reading the Bible. Bear, I know not the point, but the history of menstrual products is very interesting. Oh yeah, I'm sure the history of mental products. There's been various different ways women throughout history have addressed that issue, and I think I am probably almost Donnie Baker. Thank you. Oh, Donnie Baker. Yes, Donnie Baker. Yes, it's state law. I swear to God, I did. He'd be saying something, and all of a sudden he'd just, he'd say something unbelievable. He was really good. Bob and Tom show. Bob retired a few years ago, and I believe now he's recently found cancer and he's working on fighting the cancer. Tom is still around. Yeah, and there was this other guy, was Mr. Obvious. There was another. I don't even know who did the voice for Mr. Obvious. If it wasn't the same comedian, I don't think. But Mr. Obvious, he's talking about like, I got this badger or something lives under my sink. I don't know. Every time I'm in there working and I'm doing stuff, and I just hear this sound under my sink, and I go open there, and there's nothing under there. And what it is turns out to be his garbage disposal. Yeah. He's like, are you sure it's not your garbage disposal? Garbage disposal. Go turn this switch. Oh yeah. And this other time he's like, I think there's a bear down in my basement. I think somehow there's a bear because I keep hearing this rawr noise, and they're like, it's not a bear, man. It's probably like your water heater. It's bubbling up and stuff. He's like, that's cool. And he starts going down the stairs. It's a bear, and he gets eaten.
Man,
my dog. That's my bad dog collar. Did you get muted? Are you still there, Darante?
Yes.
Okay, you might be muted, Ryan.
I am.
Yes. So yeah, it turned out, and the second story turned out to really be a bear. It wasn't like that. Maria says, all of this reminds me of the episode where Haley from American Dads, I can picture pastors snapping staples at women with tears in their eyes saying, unclean, unclean. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I wonder, though, there are people out there who know a lot more about the Bible than I, or Scripture or whatnot. So, Justin, if you happen to have some thoughts on what God has against shellfish. I'm trying to stay on topic of the show, as y'all can see.
I mean, it's really just a stupid ass dietary law because people were dying because they didn't know how to freaking be responsible with cooking or eating shellfish. So they were like, oh, we're stupid. We don't know how to do this. So how about you just don't go near?
That's a good idea. The pole, Jesse Bear. Oh, bless me or my soul's going to get away. I can feel it slipping away. Thank you for that. The poll. All right, we'll look at my poll if you want to see my poll. We forgot to look at the poll. Let me put the poll link. For those of you who are here, I know up in the top there's a link for a newsletter. If you want to get on my mailing list, click that link. I'm going to start doing a weekly newsletter for the Daily Atheist Morning Show, the damn show. It's going to feature who's coming up the coming week and all that kinds of thing. And let me get you a poll link for our poll, and I'll refresh that thing. There we go.
And it looks like we may have missed another super chat.
Oh, did we?
Oh, did we?
I think Raven, how do you confuse an archaeologist? Give him a used tampon and ask him what period it's from.
Oh,
I didn't see that one.
I think, I'm not sure. It was maybe going during our commercial or something. Thank you, Raven Lunatic, for the $5 most offensive super chat. That was a good one. How do you confuse an archaeologist? Give him a used tampon and ask him.
I wish I could remember these jokes.
Right?
I know, right?
They're really good, but I know I won't remember them.
Are you sure you're not a dad, Raven?
Right?
I feel like dirty dad jokes. Yeah.
I'm smelling a lot of dad coming off these jokes.
Stench of dad.
Stench of dad. Did I actually remember to post the link? All right, so I posted the link to the poll. Go vote. The poll of the day, the question of the day is, which biblical miracle screams attention-seeking behavior? And so far, we've got 86 votes. Wow, this is a lot of votes.
Yes.
And this is an interesting one. This is where none or all of the above / leave a comment. That one is actually coming in second. More people are quite passionate about that. The options I gave were a burning bush with no context. I mean, I've seen lots of bushes burn. The parting of the sea instead of building a boat. Could have built a boat for the guys, but
It's not like he hadn't done it before.
Right?
Truth. Huh, interesting. And then flooding the planet instead of getting therapy. Anger management issues.
That's my favorite.
That one is, that's coming in first. That's what did I vote? Let me go see if I voted. I had it up. I just don't know if I actually did the vote. Poll for that. I'm going to vote for that. Flooding the planet instead of therapy. And then, of course, the none. There are all of the above. We got 19 comments. People are wonderful. That sound. Lots of people. Olivia Maynard. New name, I think. Jesse Bear having blood kink. Having a blood kink is a God thing. Unless, of course, it's what? Lady blood.
Lady blood.
Lady blood. Redeeming humanity by killing himself. That's a narcissistic move right there. That's give me attention.
This is how much I love you. This is how much I love you. It's giving that. It's giving that.
Wow, yeah, it is.
Look what you made me do.
Look what you made me do.
No more wire hangers.
No more metal hangers.
I don't know if we got carried away there or not.
Man.
There is our poll of the day. Let me go ahead and check out stuff real quick. Thank you for those links. I saved that link today.
Oh, man.
And I want to, that's a lot of votes. Flooding the planet instead of therapy. 60% of you wonderful people said that. It is time. I'm going to read our super chats and then wrap up the show. Let me go over here. Top chat. Why is it on? Oh, it's been on top chat this whole time. You know, I hate top chat.
I know. Same. I just realized I was on it earlier. So
I know. And then whenever you create a video, you have the choice of leaving it on top chat or creating it to newest. But that's only for the comments after the show. That's not for the live stream itself. It pisses me off. Very much I appreciate all of you wonderful people. If I missed a chat, it's, I'm going to blame that today. I want to start with a Chick Magnate became a channel supporter. Thank you, Chick Magnate, very much. We're cheap. Starting at $1. I'm cheap. Left-handed Jedi for $2 said DoorDash Ministries, when your sins won't wait. That's cool. And there was one guy who was thank you for the super chat, by the way. There's one guy who was offering an app where you could get forgiveness and absolution on your app, on your phone or some business. I should have thought of that. It's like $24 a month. You gotta be a sinning sumbitch to pay that. Anyway, Raven Lunatic for $5 says, what's a politician's idea of foreplay? 10 minutes speech on family values followed by a 10-second scandal. The old in out, if you will. Marduk, thank you for the $10 super sticker. Deconstruction Zone, thank you for the $5 super chat. Said, to be fair, Trump is qualified to be Pope given the amount of kids he's diddled with Epstein. That one kind of caught me off guard. Thank you for that one. For $2, Deconstruction Zone says, I haven't, but I love pups, so I hope you enjoyed the Pope. More pups coming. And then Deconstruction Zone for $5 said, what do priests and clocks have in common? They both start at 12. You know what this sound reminds me of now that they're doing the drill? It reminds me of that Master Pastor.
Oh, the video where he's up the ladder.
Yes. Yeah, when he's up the ladder, and I added the fart noises to the end, the fart clouds.
Oh, man.
Yes. Deconstruction Zone for $2 said snakes on a plane, spelled like a plane, a desert plane. Yahweh edition. That's fantastic. The Holy One. Raven Lunatic for $5 says, why did Jesus die a virgin? Because every gash he touched healed and closed up.
No blowjobs.
Ooh. That'd be rough.
Yikes.
Wow. Does he then just spit on it and rub? I don't know where that's going. Just spit on it. Haktua. Can you imagine Jesus saying Haktua? Bad Chris. Raven Lunatic for $5 says, I have to head off, but not before one last joke. How do you know a mechanic has a girlfriend? He has 2 clean fingers.
Oh, man.
Trim fingernails. All the good men do. 3 if she's freaky deaky. I'm just
Hey,
saying. Why is your ring finger dirty? That's just. Yeah, you got to take care of that shit. I'm just saying. Raven Lunatic for $5 said, "What's the difference between sand and menstrual blood? You can't gargle sand." Well, you can try. Not as romantic though. Won't get you as far. Raven Lunatic for $5 says, "How do you confuse an archaeologist? You give him a used tampon and ask him what period he's from." I don't really know how. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, and Jessie Bear said, or she became a member. She's been a member. I know, puppies. I know. They're getting right over us. For 4 months. Thank you for that. I don't really remember how the conversation swung over from shellfish and God's hate of shellfish to vaginal secretions.
Life happens.
yeah.
But it does happen. It does. And we are all indeed traumatized for it. Thank you all for the super chats. Yes, that's why we are the way we are. I very much appreciate you all. Thank you for joining us today on the show. Darante, have a wonderful day. Ryan, you have a wonderful day. To my mods, all you wonderful people out there who help and support, we love you. Thank you very much. To the puppy dogs, Jack, I know, man. I know, buddy. I know. And to the roofers. Well, now when I shake fist at Sky, there's somebody actually up there. They're doing a great job. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna run something, one of our commercials here for the end of the show. Actually, I think I've pretty much run all the Cool Kids show, and then we'll see you guys tomorrow. Send safely, my friends. Take care.
Got a house that smells like old cheese and shame. Father Flanagan's flesh candles change the game. Goat-scented thrills for your soul's delight. Light it up, baby, make your room right. When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan, here to set the tone. Confession booths, busy, no need to stress. Light a candle and forget your mess. Gross odors vanish like sins in the wind. With each wick, guess who's your new best friend? When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan, here to set the tone. Lambs and calves may have their day, but goat's the scent that leads the way. Clean your slate with a sniff so pure. Father Flanagan's got the cure. Turn your home into a saintly space. With every whiff, find redeeming grace. From your living room to the kitchen,